Again, let's get back to Atlanta and the sister in Atlanta. Again, the cop recognizes that the brother and the sister may not be from Atlanta, right? But he goes from recognizing or showing some type of honor to another human being to, do you all have IDs? That's how they do business with you. When you seek employment with the company, because again, or corporation, which Atlanta is, and has a charter to prove it, they want you to identify yourself, right? They want social security number and some type of driver's license or state ID, some type of identification that they say that they recognize, right? So in a sense, that's an offer. But what I don't understand, and they do this in various states that used to be our estates, right? Would they make you sign a ticket, right? So that's why what's on the screen is on the screen. So let's briefly take a look at it. It says signing a ticket is not an admission of guilt. Refusing to sign a citation, so you got ticket, you got citation, and I say suit. It's a suit against you. But refusing to sign a citation is considered reasonable cause to believe the individual will not appear in court or will pay the fine, and the officer may then physically arrest the individual. So they saying that you will not appear. You won't make a special appearance in your proper person and appropriate persona in our court of bullshit. So being that we don't believe that you will show up if you don't sign, hold on, if I sign something, if I put my signature onto a piece of paper, the same shit that's happened to my ancestors is gonna happen to me. But you can't tell these idiots. Mind you, this was a melanated man who roughed up this sister because she would not sign this contract. Again, forcing you to support your own demise by way of the same corporate entities that have been a thorn in our ass since they arrived. And they went from 13 colonies to how many? How many sets they claim? Because essentially that's what it is. How many sets is they claiming? So we discussed this briefly last night, but I did not mention. Now, what would the officer had done if the sister wrote TDC on the ticket? He don't know what your signature, looks like. Now, granted, he could take that ID that they gave him. Again, the brother, he was hesitant to sign a ticket in the beginning as well, but eventually he did, right? The sister did not want to sign it. But once she saw this officer begin to become aggressive, not just in his attitude, but physically willing to put his hands on her and shackle her up and sexually assault her by way of what y'all call a search, and then kidnap her and hold her for a ransom for a ticket that he was attempting to extort these people, you understand, for breaking a policy. The same policies they've been making up since day one in order to be able to become the powerhouse of wealth that they are by way of incarcerating their subjects, their POWs, their wards of state. See, we done went from being the heirs of estates to being wards of state. How you go from being heirs of estates to being a ward of a state? And they real careful with their words. You see that they say state. They don't say a state. They don't claim any titles of nobility, right? But they move in a way of sovereign nobility. Do they not? As royals. See, we can have all the ills, all the bays, all the days, all the Alis, all the owls that we like. But it started at home. If our own relatives don't honor their own nobility of their own titles of nobility, I can't expect for the city of Chicago, the state of Georgia, the state of California, the state of New York to honor a fucking thing. They know that they are breaking multiple international laws every second on the hour, every second on a minute, and every minute on an hour. Right? They know this. It's not a it's a matter of us. We can make all the demands that we want, but there are methods to us being able to assert our sovereignty, right? Yes, it is. I say it is. I say we have multiple examples of such, right? Make this make sense. Signing the ticket is not an admission of guilt. Do you sign anything that you don't plan on reaping some type of benefits from contractually? That sounds incompetent. Again, who does that? Signing the ticket is not an admission of guilt. Refusing to sign the ticket, refusing to sign a citation is considered reasonable cause to believe. Reasonable cause. Like probable cause. No, I don't say probable cause. It says reasonable cause to believe the individual will not appear in court or pay the fine. And the officer may then physically kidnap, sexually assault you. This don't make sense. The fact that they have this type of process of legislation on the books needs to be removed. So let me see. Do we have some audio? I'm sure I can set up audio right quick, y'all. Hold tight. Because again, I would like to show this. But the way these people play, you know what I mean? The way that they operate their businesses from the ceiling to the floor is, let me be very descriptive in my frankness. Thank you. Again, if I could show the video, you know what I mean, then I wouldn't have to do so much talking about this. Let me see something right quick, y'all. Is this bow? See, because you got a lot of what we call supporters of the terrorists, if you will. Because there's no way that you can justify this. See, people will, just like you look at the comments on this particular video, right? And people will try to justify it and say, well, why she should have just signed a ticket and it would have never happened. She offered to sign a ticket once she seen that this goon was going to get physically aggressive with her and actually kidnap her. You cannot justify this. There's nothing that you can say to make this acceptable. In other words, is what I'm saying to you. You're going to kidnap somebody and throw them into jail and hold them. You see, they don't go further into detail. They give you the information concerning that. Well, we believe that if you don't sign a citation, that you plan is not an